We have some breaking news. Jeff Sessions is out as U.S. Attorney General. Sessions submitted his resignation to President Donald Trump at the president's request. The president saying he wished Sessions well and thanked him for his service. And a permanent replacement will be announced at a later date. Meantime, Sessions' chief of staff will become acting Attorney General. You may remember that he had a fractious relationship with the president ever since he recused himself from the Russia investigation. People saying that Jeff Sessions was on borrowed time, but they did not want to make a move before the midterm elections. Todd Van der Hayden standing by in Washington as we go over this breaking news. And that didn't take long, Todd, for the president to start to clean house.
No, it didn't, Jen. Well said. We had indications this is exactly what was going to happen. In fact, we talked to a Republican strategist who said that Jeff Sessions was going to go on Thursday. Here we are a day earlier, and it's already happened. I mean, you got to remember that this was a long time coming. It's not a big surprise. We did know that Donald Trump was going to move once these midterms were over to clean house, as you say, get rid of some of those people that he did not have any confidence left in. And certainly Jeff Sessions fit the bill. His attorney general, who, of course, recused himself very early on when the Russia investigation was just beginning. Donald Trump went after him over and over and over again over the last year and a half, throwing him under the bus, insulting him on Twitter and social media, really humiliating his attorney general, perhaps hoping that Jeff Sessions would get the message and step aside. But that, of course, did not happen. The other thing that's important to mention is Jeff Sessions, Jen, as you no doubt remember, was the very first Republican senator from Alabama at the time to ever come out and support Donald Trump, the only Republican senator that was in the Senate at the time to come out and support Donald Trump very early on in Trump's candidacy. A lot of other people thought this was going to be a farce, that Donald Trump was never going to go anywhere. And Jeff Sessions decided, no, I see something in this man, and I'm going to support him. And then, of course, became the attorney general in the Trump administration, but no longer, has been now fired. And we're also hearing, Jen, I should point this out, that this is just the beginning, that there will be more firings to come in the Justice Department and elsewhere as Donald Trump takes this opportunity to sort of pivot, reposition his administration for the next 2 years as he moves towards, of course, his re-election in 2020.
And that was going to be my next question, Todd. As the sun goes down in Washington behind you, and we can see you there in the shadows, it sounds like the sun's going down on a few people's careers as well. As you pointed out, Jeff Sessions, one of Trump's biggest supporters. But as the time went on, Mr. Trump became increasingly ticked off with Jeff Sessions, using things like adjectives like beleaguered and very weak and disgraceful to describe him. So in some ways, it's almost amazing he lasted this long. But were the midterms a factor in Mr. Sessions keeping his job until right about now?
Well, I think every time there is a midterm election for any president, Jen, it is an opportunity for them to look at their team. And we know that going back historically, whether it is this president or Barack Obama or George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, and on it goes. It is a chance for them to reposition and rethink their team, rethink their strategy moving forward, particularly, of course, in the first midterms of any election when they decide to run for a re-election campaign and when they decide to run to become the president again, if they can actually win. So that's a big issue, of course, for this president. And no doubt his team, of course, there have been a lot of changes that have gone on in the last little while. And so we know that in this situation, this was an opportunity for Trump to move past Jeff Sessions. He did, I think, hope that Jeff Sessions would leave along the way, but the Alabama senator at one point chose not to do that. I just want to read you here, if I can. This is from the Office of the Attorney General. I've just been handed this, and this is from Jeff Sessions, and he says, "Dear Mr. President, at your request, I am submitting my resignation. Since the day I was honored to be sworn in as the Attorney General, I came to work at the Department of Justice every day, determined to do my duty and serve my country. I have done so to the best of my ability, working to support the fundamental legal processes that are the foundation of justice." He goes on to say, "The team we assembled embrace your directives. I'm particularly grateful to be part of a fabulous team of men and women in law enforcement. My time as Attorney General, we have restored and upheld the rule of law, and each of us has a responsibility to safeguard. I've worked to implement all of this as a central part of your campaign." So Jeff Sessions agreeing to resign at the behest of Donald Trump. At your request, here is my resignation. So Jeff Sessions obviously got the message and decided to leave. pretty dramatic, of course. Day after the midterms, the dust hasn't even settled, and there goes Jeff Sessions.